With emotional intimacy, your relationship typically leads to warmth. Without emotional intimacy, your relationship typically leads to warfare. So which do you want? You want a relationship of warmth, or do you want a relationship of warfare? Because emotional intimacy turns conflict into connection. Pride turns conflict into combat. And stage 4 is when he freaks out. Because she just said, I'm done, I don't want anything to do with you. And he freaks out and he turns his now attention back to her. Oh, she's gonna leave? What? I didn't know. I didn't even know there was a problem. What do you mean? I thought everything was fine, right? I'm willing to go to marriage counseling. Never mind the fact she's been asking you to do that for 20 years and you didn't think anything was wrong. She's done. She's out. And this stage 4, this is when they call the pastor. If you think your marriage is boring and maybe even a little dead, and you think that the only way that you can introduce life back into your marriage, into your relationship, is by introducing a third party into that, or multiple parties into that, I submit to you, maybe it's not your marriage that's boring. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's not your marriage that needs reviving. Maybe you do. Ask yourself this, for those of you who are married or in a serious relationship, do you want your spouse to hear the words that you're saying, or do you want them to heal from the words that you're saying? Which is it? Because you have the power to do both. Now look, each step of the way that you've grown closer and closer to Christ, what has also happened to the two of you? You've grown closer and closer to one another. The emotional intimacy has been growing and drawing together without you even really doing much work, except growing in your relationship to Christ. When I watched Shelley walk down that aisle in Porter, Texas on May 31st, 1997, I had with me, maybe didn't even realize it, but I had with me this big box of desires that I just thought I was going to experience in marriage. Like I had all these ideas, these desires, these hopes, these dreams of the way I thought marriage would be. Now, little did I know that as she was walking down the aisle herself, that she
also had desires of what I thought our marriage would be.
Yeah, so I had all these different things. I thought, you know what? We're going to travel, man. Like, it's going to be so awesome. We're going to go all these neat little places. Like the first time I ever saw mountains, the first time I ever saw real snow was on our honeymoon.
First time you flew?
First time I flew. Yeah. So, but I was just getting started. We're going to travel the world, maybe, but we're going to go to a lot of places and see a lot of things. I had all these desires.
I had desires about time, how much we would spend together, how much we spend apart. How much time? I figured like we'll spend all of our free time just doing like fun things. So,
And that was just, a couple of hours. I had desires for like the whole year. Here's how we're going to spend Christmas. Here's where we're going to spend Christmas. Here's how we're going to celebrate birthdays. And here's how we're going to, one of these days, celebrate Mother's Day. And one of these days, celebrate Father's Day month. All these dreams, all these desires of how we would celebrate the year.
I had desires about a house. Would we live in an apartment? Would we live in a neighborhood? Would we have some chickens and sourdough bread? You know what I'm saying? Would we, in buying a house, how long would it take us to save for a house? So, yeah.
Saving for the house took money.
Yeah.
I had all these ideas about how much money I was going to make. We were going to be a dual income family, and we were just going to be able to go through life making it rain, just making all the money.
Yeah. Here's some more money. I had desires just about who was going to do all the chores. Am I cleaning all the toilets? Is he cleaning the toilets? Are you mowing the grass? Am I mowing the grass? Who's doing what? Is it 50-50? Like, yeah.
Is it 50-50 inside and outside?
True.
Or,
Yeah, I had lots of desires. Kids. How long are we going to wait to have kids? How long in between kids? Will it be difficult to have kids? Okay, well, there's another one. Okay. Do we have more kids? Because that was a big question. Do we have more kids after 2?
Yeah, do we keep trying till we get that boy?
And we're not slowing down, people. There's another one on the way.
There's another one. And guys, come on, we all have our own desires about what we think she's going to wear to bed every single night, don't we?
Okay, ladies, we have our own ideas about what we are going to wear at bed tonight. And can I get an amen?
And here's the deal, that old ratty shirt, that's fine at first, it's cute even, but over time, that old ratty shirt starts to represent more of what's not happening tonight. So after a while, you start to hate that ratty shirt.
Look, and it's not that these desires are bad, because they're not. The problem is when we come into a marriage, we have all of these desires, and then we put those desires onto our spouse, and they become expectations. And then our spouse doesn't meet those expectations, and then they become unmet expectations, which again leads to the frustration, the resentment, and just a lot of problems that can really affect your marriage.